Hello everyone, my name is Gina and welcome to Seasoned Beauties. Our video on today, I just want to talk to you for a few minutes. First of all, I want to start off by saying thank you for kind of bearing with me through this last situation that I went through, and I never thought I'd be making another video like this about the challenge that I had with my skin. However, this breakout, and I really believe it was stress related because I'm very, very careful with my skincare routine. Now, it doesn't mean it can't be that in addition to, but we had an event in our lives that really turned the stress part way up, okay? So that part in itself was stressful. But as you know, when I do a skincare routine, I let you know what it is, the items that I use, and then because I have so many different types of skincare products that are sent, that I receive, I try to wait at least 2 weeks before I start a new one. So that's why I didn't think it was really the skincare issue. And the only thing different, well, it's a different brand. Every brand has its own little things that it adds, you know, into their products. But nonetheless, so with this challenge, all through here, and I do have pictures. I don't know if I want to say sad to say or just so that you can kind of understand where I was coming from. But let me just roll back to quite a few years ago. I found out I was allergic to nail glue. And I'll link that video up here. And what happened was I woke up one morning, my husband was staring me in my face. And he said, "Do not look in the mirror. We're going straight to the hospital." And I'm like, what? What in the world is that bad that I have to go straight to the hospital and you don't want me to see? Well, by then, my face was swollen, like I don't know what. My skin was peeling down around my eyes and they were swollen. Now, when you see that video, you'll understand, you know, and kind of see what it is that I'm talking about. So it just went downhill from there. So that's why I'm saying I never thought I'd be doing another video about my skin. However, last month, the amount of videos that I did were very little. And even with those, most of them, actually, I think I did 3. 2 of them, I had a mask on. And it was really so I did not offend y'all. But I did say I was going to let you know why. So when this event happened, you know how you can feel something happening. And my face began to tingle. And next thing I knew, and you can still see some of what's left of it here and here, but it was so bad. The breakout was in clusters around here, and the bumps began to get larger and larger, straight through here, all the way down and around, and that was on both sides. However, this side was the worst. So I made an appointment with my doctor, went down. I said, look, she said, "What brings you in today?" And I took my mask off. I said, "You ready for this?" She said, "Oh my God." And so she said, "I don't want to do anything with that. I do want to send you to a dermatologist." I said, "Okay, that'll be fine." So she gave me the referral. However, the first one that I had, they didn't take my insurance. I said, okay, called the doctor's office back. They gave me another one. This one, maybe about 25 minutes, 30 minutes from my home, So I called to make an appointment. They said, well, you're a new patient. And for new patients, the first available appointment we have is in November. I said, okay, first of all, you get new patients because they're having a breakout of or an issue of some kind. Why do you not save slots for new people? You're telling me it's scheduled. The only possible spot you can get in, the soonest possible spot you could get them in is in November, and this is August? I said, all right, you don't even have to check. Thank you very much. You have a great day. Called them back. So, got another one. They gave me 15 visits so that they could find out what the root of this challenge is. Well, I can't tell you other than the fact that it was definitely stress related. I can't give you any more information than that right now because they have to do a biopsy on whatever they pulled from my skin. So we're still waiting, to see the results from that. They took blood, they did some of everything. So I said, okay, so what do I do in the meantime? She said, well, we really need you to be very, very careful. And with your skincare, I would tell you to stop using whatever it is you're using now and try something that is for sensitive skin. I said, well, I already use things for sensitive skin because, and I told her what I do. And she said, wow, okay, but let's just do this. So I did some CeraVe. What I actually ended up trying was the Acne Foaming Cream Cleanser. And this one has benzoyl peroxide in it. This is what it looks like. So I cleansed my face with this twice a day. Instead of a toner, I was using the witch hazel. And then I used my trimesalone cream and the ultralight moisturizing lotion. So she said she wasn't all that crazy about me using the trimesalone cream because she said it could leave my face with white patches on my skin. So I said, okay. So I did that. So we're talking about 2.5 weeks of washing my skin, cleansing my skin, my face, and down under my neck. And it's very difficult to not put makeup on, so I was very, very light-handed with the makeup. Now, when I was doing videos, I had the mask on, so I just did from my forehead down, and my eyes. But I'm telling you this because there are some things that we can control. We don't really think about it, but we can't give in to stress. We can't allow stress to run us, but we can run away this whole stress situation. Look, meditation is a fantastic thing, going out and exercising, but when you think about it, nobody wants to go outside when their face is a mess. Now granted, using the sunscreen was and is a necessity because I do that anyway. I have makeup, I have skincare, I have moisturizer, and I have a primer that also has SPF. I want to say it's like 30 or better, especially the primer, and that one is by e.l.f. And I've shown you that one previously on this channel. So there are just things that we have to not allow to really get the best of us to the point where it does this. But I'm going to tell you the story about what happened that caused this stress to be unreal. And I haven't done it yet because every time I start to talk about it, it upsets me. It really upsets me. And the truth of the matter is, when I tell you the story, I hope it upsets you too. not to the point where it stresses you out, but to the point that you know what is going on with our vets. Because as you know, for those of you who don't know, my husband is a disabled veteran. He did decade in the Army. And so this thing, it just bothered me. And I'm just telling you the truth. I hope that it bothers you too when you hear it, you know, because people should not be treated this way. Especially those who fought for liberties and freedoms that we have. Okay? So, but nonetheless, I did tell you I would post some pictures of what my skin looked like. That's tough, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. I really don't wish this on anyone. I really don't wish it on anyone. And when I say it definitely got worse before it got better, these bumps turned white, and then they were scaly, and then it was just peeling like paper. And then it left these dark blotches on my face because I refused to scratch it, you know, as much as I would have wanted to, because it was itching. I knew better than to do that. So I would make sure that it was covered so that I, you know, would not be tempted to do so. But I just wanted to share with you and say thank you for bearing with me, you know, through this. I did not want to not present you with the monthly items, the subscription boxes and things like that that we get. I wanted to make sure that I did put that information out there to you in a timely manner. So that was a big deal for me. And the one that was late was the last one, which was the snack crate, but it is up. It is definitely up. So if you haven't watched that, I encourage you to check out the snack crate. We did the country of Spain. All right, well, thank you so much for spending time with me on today. I just want you to really be very, very careful, you know, with your skin. I did check out some information about the things that can help you, you know, when you do have those kinds of challenges. You want to have things like salicylic acid, you know, what's the other two? Actually, what I will do is I'll just list it, you know, on the screen so that you can see it and really give it some thought. But always check with your doctor or your dermatologist before you try anything on your skin. I even called my insurance nursing line. I really did, because it was really just that bad and it seemed like things were taking too long. So with that being said, you do what you have to do to make sure you can get yourself back to your optimal self. Okay, and I'm not all the way there yet, but when I tell you this is a lot better, I would say maybe 85% better than what it was. Okay, sometimes it feels like it's even more than that, but I really just don't want anybody to have to go through that. And those who go through that problem, acne and things like that, my heart goes out to you. You know, skincare is no joke. No joke. So do what you can. You know, find out information about your skin type. If you are allergic to, you know, something that may be in the makeup that you're using, or, you know, the cleansers, even the sunscreen. If you have an allergy, you need to check those labels. Make sure you're not using expired products. You know, all of those things can definitely take a toll. So I just want to encourage you to, you know, check into those things. If you're not sure, if you see where you have a small area that constantly breaks out when you use a certain product, talk to your doctor, you know, and tell them, this is what I'm using. I'm not sure if this is, what's challenging my skin. Stop using it. See if it goes away. If it does, that's fine. You know not to use it. But what is that ingredient? Okay, the only way you can narrow it down is by letting your dermatologist or your doctor know. They do the skin test so you can, or allergy test, to find out what you are indeed allergic to. I love getting my nails done, but I will never allow glue on my nails again, okay, because I don't ever want to have to go through that again. And so even now, to have stress related acne, I'm like, wait, I am way too old for that. All right, I'm not trying to go there. So I just wanted to share this with you, to let you know what it was that was going on. And once again, I wanted to say thank you so much for bearing with me. I will give you a video as many times as I can this month. I'm going to shoot at least for 3 or 4 videos a week. I need to make up to y'all, and not just frivolous things. If it's something that you'd like to see, let me know down below. I will go ahead and take care of that as well. We do have our regular subscription boxes that are coming. I have the brush videos. I have a lot of new brushes and I want to share them with you. Y'all know how I am about brushes, and we want to see how we can use them, to the fullest for what we do. So thank you so very much for choosing to spend time with me on today. I will see you in my next video and let you know exactly what it is that happened. And I want to encourage you to make sure you share that video. Share this video with anybody who may have challenges with their skin or whatever. And this next one that's coming up, anybody who loves a veteran or has a veteran in their life, those of us, who look out for them, are caregivers. We need to share. We need to let the world know this is not okay for our veterans. All right, so be on the lookout for that. All right, now make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Seasoned Beauties family. We'd be more than happy to have you, and it's fantastic on the pocket because it is free. Make sure you share this video as I stated. And most importantly, remember, regardless of the season that you are in, you will always be a seasoned beauty. Until next time.